Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Diane, and today we're going to be doing another review. So we're going to get right into it. Today we're going to be making the cinnamon swirl crumb cake and muffin mix, and it's by Krusteaz. Okay, so they've been in business for a long time. They originally started out making pie crust, hence the name Krusteaz. So we're going to make these. Gonna do a review on them, let you know what I think about them. I've been seeing them in the store for quite a while. I have never ever tried them, but we're gonna make them and we're gonna see what they be like, and we're gonna follow the directions that's on the back of the box. We're gonna do it just like the directions said, and we're not gonna alter anything except for they're calling for vegetable oil. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I don't use vegetable oil. I always substitute it with olive oil. So you use what you got in your home. Remember, I always tell you to use what you got, okay? So this company makes just a lot of things. They do muffins, they have cake mix, bread mix, just a variety of mix, pancake mixes. So I have tried their waffle mix, and I thought that was really, really good and on point. So we're gonna make this, and let's get right to it. We're gonna open up our box, and you know me. So first of all, it says to preheat the oven to 350 and lightly grease an 8x8 pan. I already got my pan greased, as you can see here, lightly greased, of course, with olive oil. So if you know me, I always look at the batter because I want to see what the batter looks like. It looks nice and smooth, no lumps. So we're going to cut it open. And so the directions say to mix the ingredients all together and stir. So the ingredients are, oh, I'm sorry, it's one more thing in here. Let me get that out. And that is the cinnamon topping. So we have a bag of that. It smells good. I can smell it through the paper. It smells really good. So we have our cinnamon topping. We have 2/3 cup of water. We have an egg, 1 egg, and we have a 1/4 cup of oil. So I'm gonna do my egg first. I'm just gonna put that in a bowl and mix it. Wash my hands really quick and be right back. Alrighty, so I got my egg in the bowl. I'm just gonna mix that, beat that real good first, and then we're just gonna throw everything else in there and mix it, okay? We're gonna do it just like the box says. So I'm gonna lay this down so I can see it real good. Alrighty. So here goes my oil, which is a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm gonna put that in there. And then my water, which is 2/3 cup of water. Okay. And I'm not mixing anything else. I just wanted to beat that egg up. And then we're going to put in our cake batter. And then it just says that we're going to, I'm going to read the directions just as they are on the box. So it says to stir together the water, the oil, the egg, and the cake mix until blended. And it said the batter will be slightly lumpy. All right, so that's the first thing we're going to do. This is going to go together very, very quickly. So I like a good breakfast Danish or whatever in the morning to have with my breakfast, or just to have a coffee cake or something, you know, to eat during the week also. But I think that'll make a real pretty coffee cake for us to have. So I'm looking forward to having this throughout the week. And it smells good. Yep, I can smell it from here. Alright, and that looks like that has come together pretty good for me. So I'm liking the way that looks. It is nice and thick. Alrighty. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Alright, that looks good. And then it says to spoon half of the batter into the pan and spread evenly. So we're going to take our 8x8 pan and we're going to put half of the batter in. Let me do a scrape down. And let's see if we can get half of this batter in this pan. Okay, you don't want to not have enough to cover, so this looks pretty good to me. All right, let's take that out of your sight. Then we're going to spread this evenly in the bottom of our pan. So you can see that. Let me just move it back here. All right, so it is spreading out. It is very thick. So I want you to know that it is very, very thick. Okay, so I've got it spread out nice and evenly on the bottom of the pan. So now the next thing it says for me to do, to sprinkle half of the cinnamon mixture over the batter. So here's our cinnamon mixture. Let's see if we can shake that down so we can cut it. Wow, it smells, it really smells good, you all. And we're gonna cut it in case some of it leaks out. And I'm just going to use my hand and I'm going to sprinkle this, half of this mixture, and it kind of gives me a good idea of how the top of it is going to be. And I'm supposed to sprinkle this over the batter. It didn't say anything about I needed to try to spread or anything. I'm assuming or hoping that it's going to spread out a little bit as it bakes. I think it's probably a fairly good amount of this mixture in here. Okay, so we're going to just do exactly like I say. I'm just trying to gauge how much I got left. Okay, alrighty. I think I can go just a little bit more. I'm seeing a couple of little spots. All right, that looks good to me, I believe. I just want to make sure that I have enough to cover my top. So there it is. That looks really good. All righty. So, okay, so now it says in step 3 to drop the remaining batter in small spoonfuls over the topping layer and spread to the edge of the pan. And then we're to sprinkle the remaining topping evenly over the batter. Okay, so we're gonna take the remaining half of our batter and we're gonna drop it by spoonfuls over this. And I'm gonna try to get these close together. And we're going to spread them out just as the directions said. I'm making sure to get it in my corners because you know, you always got to get those corners. You know, you know how I am about nuts. I like the nuts. I'm thinking if I took my little mini food processor and wanted to do walnuts or pecans in the middle on top of the cinnamon sugar. Make sure I'm calling it right. They call it cinnamon topping. I'm thinking that would really be good too. We're not going to do that. We're going to follow the directions, okay? But I'm thinking that would be so good. Have a little bit of pecan or walnut topping on it. Alrighty. So I'm going to try to get all of this out the bowl and on here. Okay. Okay. There's some more. And now I'm going to spread this out as even as I can. I guess I'm going to use my spoon. I'm going to start to spread it. Yeah. And I'm assuming that it really doesn't matter if it mixes with the top, even though I'm trying not to mix it, the batter. I'm trying to keep it as smooth as I can. It's not like a cake mix. This is a little bit more difficult to spread because it's really thick, but it seems to be going together pretty good. I just want to make sure I kind of seal it up a little bit on the edges, and then we're going to go right on in, and we are going to sprinkle the rest of that cinnamon topping on our mix. So probably if I make this again, I'm going to butter or spray the back of my spoon so that it doesn't stick to the spoon as much, and hopefully it will spread a whole lot easier. I'm just going to go in here with my spatula now and try to spread it and just seal up some things on the end here. Okay, I think that's going to be as good as I'm going to be able to get it, because I'm going to be anxious to see if it's going to look like this. Okay, they also said, I read down at the bottom, that you can take a knife, well here it is up the top, for a marbling effect, that you can take a knife and swirl it, which that would be great, but we're not going to swirl, okay? We're not swirling today. So we're going to take the rest of our topping and we're just going to sprinkle that on top. It has kind of like a wet feeling to it. So it's not dry at all. It's kind of a wet. I think that's why it's sticking to my fingers, because it's more of a wet feeling to this topping. Alright, let me see. I think it says that I'm supposed to spread it evenly. Yes, spread it evenly over the batter. So let me get a fork and I'm going to spread it. I'm going to wash my hands, get a fork, and I'm going to spread it. Alrighty, so I have my fork, and I'm just going to lightly just kind of glaze over this with my fork. Just barely touching it to get it to spread. And that looks really good the way it's spreading out. So I think there's not going to be an issue with the top at all. Just rotating my pan around so that I can get that in there. All right. That is looking good. So I guess the key ingredient or takeaway from this is to make sure you have enough of the cinnamon topping to go and cover the topping. As you can see, I had enough. We're going to see if it's going to come out and look just like what that does. It's going to be interesting. But I tell you, it smells really good. Can you imagine the nuts even on top of that? Oh my gosh. But anyway, we're going to throw this in the oven. It says to bake the 4th step. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 steps for 41 to 45 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out of the center clean. Then you want to cool for 5 to 10 minutes. And if you're going to use a glass pan, that you ought to add 5 minutes to that glass pan time. So we're going to stick it in the oven, let it cool, come back. We're going to cut it and enjoy. I'll see you in a few minutes. Here's what it looks like before I put it in the oven. Alrighty, so I'm back. It's out of the oven and it's still nice and warm. It's been probably a good 10 minutes that I've let it cool on this wire rack. Here's what it looks like up close. Smells very good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to try to cut it in a nice pretty square, just like what they have. And we're going to see if it looks as good as what their picture looks like. So, cut into it. I will have to tell you that mine did not have to cook for a full 40 minutes. In fact, I think mine only cooked for 30. And again, that's because my oven cooks very quickly. You should just make sure that you know how your oven operates when you're baking a cake, because this is essentially like a cake. It's a coffee cake. So you need to cook yours according to how yours would normally bake when you're doing yours in the oven. So the first piece normally doesn't come out very good. So I'm going to try to get around that. See if we can get it out. There we go. We're going to plate it up and look at it. Okay, it looks very good. It smells good. The crumb on it looks really nice. It's soft. It's very moist. I will have to say that even though I was very careful about how much of the cinnamon topping I put in the middle of it, it probably could have used a little bit more of it. However, it came out really, really good. I think it did really good. There's a couple of little places where I think maybe it was me. I could have spread it out a little bit better. But overall, the way it came out and the way it looks, I think that's a really good breakfast cake for coffee cake or whatever. You could have did these with muffins and it would have did good. Remember, you could have done the swirl. Take the knife and you could have swirled it, and that would have been great as well. So of course, always we got to do the taste test. So we're going to see how it tastes. All right, so we're going to take us a nice little bite of this and see how it is. I'm hoping that it's nice and fairly sweet. Okay, folks, that's a winner. I definitely give that a thumbs up. It is nice and sweet. I love the texture. I love the little crunch that's on top. Like I said before, if you wanted to go ahead on and grind you up some walnuts or some pecans, I think pecans would really set it off, and either put it in the middle of the filling of the cinnamon topping or on top, either way or both, it would really, really add to it to give you even more of a crunch. But the cinnamon topping on top, it got nice and crispy and crunchy, and it is absolutely delicious. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna give the hubby some. I think he's gonna really love it. You all be blessed, and I'll see you next time.